So, hi, I wanted to take some time and introduce Shannon. Every massage session that I have now, everybody wants to know, what is Reiki? And I have my own description and what I feel like I've gained from my experience, but I really don't know if that is how you would describe it. So how would you answer that question? What is Reiki?
Sure. So I am trained in Usui Reiki, and it was developed by Dr. Usui, and it's a Japanese healing modality.
Okay.
So it's used to help support emotional health, and it is centered around your energy and focused primarily on your 7 main chakras in your body, and helping to heal within those chakras and get your energy flowing in the right way.
Okay.
So that's kind of the generalized version of it. For me personally, it is more in depth of helping with PTSD, with parent wounds, inner child wounds, childhood trauma, grief particularly is a huge one that it helps with.
Right.
So
it's I definitely would agree that it is more profound than just energy healing. That can be kind of vague. So
yeah. So physical ailments it helps with also, and so
the physical ailments part, that is interesting. That is new to me that I've learned recently. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we'll have some comments on that.
Yeah. So the practice is a very high spiritual vibrational session. So every practitioner is trained on how to raise their energy, tap into your energy, pull out anything that's negative or low vibrational, and then push in with their spirit guides, your spirit guides, all of the healing energy that you need. And during that time, senses and things can come through. I hear messages, or claircognizance is one of the clairs that come through, clairaudience, and being able to feel other people's emotions comes through also.
So cool.
Yeah.
It
can be a lot.
It can be a lot.
But it's
amazing.
Great.
It really is great. And I know that some people can kind of be intimidated when they hear spiritual. You know what I mean? A lot of people hold their own values very, very close, and hearing a practice that taps into spirituality can be a little intimidating. I would like to put that at ease for anybody who is intimidated by it. If there's anything that you could add in that area.
Yeah, it is.
It's not scary. It sounds scary, or like it sounds like a commitment to me, but you know what I mean? It's not.
It's all meant to be for your highest healing and your greatest good. So it's normal to come into a session not knowing what to expect, or feel like, oh no, am I going to get called out? That's not what it's about. It is all about raising the vibration and bringing in healing for you that is going to be in your highest and most profound, greatest good for that session, which is also the beautiful thing, is that every session is so different.
Absolutely.
Like you never have the same experience for each session because your healing changes.
Yeah, and I've never, I've been surprised at every session. I've always gone in with a certain right. I've always gone in with a certain idea of like, oh, that would be great if it's how this. It always surprises me. It never goes the way I think, but like she said, it's always for my ultimate good. And you can't plan it. You can't force it. You just can't know what to expect each time. But it's always great.
Yeah,
honestly, it's always great.
Yeah.
So, what would you say makes someone a good candidate for Reiki? Although I feel like everybody should do it. Like I really do. Is there something that you, like when you talk to somebody, what would immediately trigger like, oh, they need Reiki healing? Like, what would you say to that?
People particularly who have obviously like traumas, right? But even if you just are anxious and you have a lot of anxiety, and a lot of people do, a lot of anxiety, you have a lot of just like frustration, you're starting to notice that you're having gut issues, you're having low back pain issues, you're getting sick a lot, things like that. And so anyone is a perfect candidate because we all have our own stuff. Obviously, life is not easy by any means, but it really can be anybody. I mean, your chakras develop completely at the end of adolescence into early adulthood. So children don't have the same chakra balance as an adult would, and there's a reason for that. But everybody is able to have healing in some way, shape, or form, animals included. And so animal Reiki is a thing. And so, yeah, so anybody and everybody.
Yes, yeah, okay, fair enough. That's exactly what I expected you to answer. I just didn't know if there was anything else. The physical pain aspect is really cool. I know a lot of people have asked me if it can help with that, and I really didn't know how to answer, so that's great. And I was going to say this at the end too, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments so that everybody can see your answers. But obviously, if you're not comfortable with that, it's okay to message me with any personal questions, but if you don't mind putting them in the comments so everybody can see and get conversation going, that'd be great. So, okay. Anybody that is thinking about trying it, is there something that you would like them to know? Is there something that you find people are that you will like, that they're intimidated by, or is there anything that you can squash or?
Yeah, of course. Going into any sort of healing session is intimidating, right? I mean, it's always, it's hard. It's the hard work. People who choose to heal things are committed to the hard work. Whenever you come in to see me, I will ask a general guidance of what you're feeling, what's bothering you, are there any major life events that happened. I use that as a guide because usually as soon as you lay on the table, things are way different. You're really kind of giving me the surface level, and I take that into consideration and I don't ignore it, but then we tap into a much deeper aspect of what's going on. So for instance, if you have a boss at work that is just demeaning, demoralizing, and is just wreaking havoc on you, causing chaos, that's affecting easily 2 to 3 of your chakras. You're having gut issues, you're starting to feel sick, you can't speak your truth. There's a lot of things that happen with that. But I could tap in, and there could have been someone in your past, maybe like one of your parents or something, who was also very similar and caused a lot of trauma for you. Right. And so that will kind of come up. But the great thing about healing is when you heal that, energy flows in all ways. It's never gone. You can't diminish energy. So it's going to flow in every direction and go ahead and create healing in other paths of your life. You can manifest things. You can now look at that situation of how, oh, look at all the things I can do to get out of this job, or things that I can handle with this boss, because we worked on the deeper healing component of it.
I would say clarity. I come away from my Reiki sessions with a lot of clarity in areas that I didn't really expect to or didn't plan to. So I can definitely vouch for that. I feel like healing wounds, no matter how old they are, just allows things to just flow better, and you suddenly have answers to questions that you really weren't asking, but that makes everything a little easier for you. Yeah, it's pretty rad. Yeah. Is there anything as far as preparation before Reiki that you would recommend?
I usually just say that, I do a lot of prep work before a session. I make sure that I'm in a high vibration. I don't drink any alcohol. I watch the food that I eat, a lot of vegetarian diet. So I'm doing a lot of prep work. Okay. And this
is before your sessions?
This is before I do a session with you.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think it's usually best if you're not super hungover.
Okay.
But
sure. No, this is great info.
Yeah, but otherwise, just trying to have a good night's sleep. Usually you're going to feel most of the effects after the Reiki session. Sure. And so I provide a list of things that you can do once you get home that really just help. Yeah, so an Epsom salt bath, drinking a ton of water, listening to a high vibrational music like Hertz music, and there's a few other things. There's things that my guides will tell me that I should recommend to you also. Yeah, so like, hey, go find a really good therapist. I am not a therapist. So things like that. And other things that you can do at home. One of the other things that if we talk about a situation that's difficult, is I'll also get that clear cognizant of a way to think about this that is in your higher good now. And so that'll kind of come through. Yeah, and take notes down for you. I write a lot of notes.
That is another thing. When I was new to Reiki, I had no idea what to expect. And my first session, And it rang true with her session too. I've only experienced Reiki with one other person before, and I came away from both sessions with like a 5-page report on myself.
It's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information, but it all hit the nail right on the head, and it was all true, and it was all like, I could check off each one, like, yeah, that sounds about right, you know, and it's kind of like a little trail guide to you, and then the recommendations and stuff. It's really just a fascinating little lesson on yourself. It's pretty cool. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So yeah, she's a wealth of knowledge with things homework wise, which is fantastic. Let's see, anything else that you think would help?
I think just everything is always confidential, right? So I don't go around promoting who I've seen as clients.
That 5-page report goes home with you.
Yes, it goes home with you. It doesn't get spread all over the internet. Please.
No. She can hand it to her next client.
Yeah. So I keep everything confidential. You know, I certainly have people that come up to me and have said that, you know, they know somebody that's seen me, and that's fine. If you wanna say it and vocalize it, I'm so happy for you. But I will not be the one to do that for you. That is your power.
That's similar with massage. I feel like that etiquette transfers over to Reiki as well.
Yeah,
a lot of it does. Really.
I do get a question of a lot of people asking, like, when should I come back? How often
that's a great question,
should I have Reiki done? And I don't really like to put a lot of stipulation on it because I'm not going to chase you down for your appointment. It is very much a you being called and drawn in situation, and as it should be. I think it's best when you have a first appointment to have another appointment a month after.
Sure.
Even sometimes another one a month after, and then after that you typically can space it out to every quarter or every 6 months, or a big life event happens and you're like, whoa, that threw me for a loop. Let me just go recenter myself. The more that you do it, you start to realize that you're off. Similar to massage, like you're like, wait, I noticed that knot's back. You know, it's similar. You'll start to notice that, like, ooh, things are starting to feel weird again. So I very much leave it up to your discretion. It is your body, your path, and I very much respect that. So
one of the really cool things that I like about Reiki is that it is a measurable thing. You know, she's measuring things when you come in and reading you before she's worked on you. So when you are able to come back, it's similar with massage too. When you are able to come back shortly after that, we can gauge what has held, you know, what has held progress. So I recommend, just like massage, you know, for Reiki, to go ahead and do a couple to get familiar with it, to get used to that feeling, and then you'll put your own stamp on when it's necessary to have it done again, and you'll start to feel when discomfort starts to creep back in sooner than if not, and you're suddenly like in a lot of pain or in a lot of stressful situations.
Yes, and I also go and see my Reiki master as well and get my sessions done so that I'm in a good place and in a good path for all of my clients, so which is important too.
Definitely.
So but any other questions, I'm happy to answer, and I'm super excited to be a part of the journey here.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that helps clarify some of the new offerings at Parasimple. Again, this is Shannon. Her availability is it Fridays and Saturdays?
Fridays and a lot of Saturdays, probably every other Saturday, but I can definitely sneak some more in there too. I'm a mom of 3 boys, so we've got a busy life.
She fits right in here. All right, so you can book anytime on the website. I'll put the link in the comments so that it's easy. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.